Bliss, good morning for me anyway. I don't know where everybody else is, but my name is Manuela. Hi everyone, happy to be here. I've worked as an educator in ESL for almost 18 years, and I'm in higher education, and I'm here because I'm just interested in exploring this opportunities. I find that more and more I get more responsibilities added onto my job that take me away from my students, and this is a way to get back in touch with ESL students and the work that I love.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. So everybody gets 1 minute. You can just say anything you want. Talk about yourself, your history, what did you did before, what you did before, everything that you want to share with us. Thanks very much for sharing that, Manula, right? Manula, is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good. We have Tara next.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Tara and I'm American. I live in Virginia, USA, and I've been teaching for about 6 years, maybe closer to 7 now. I was a teacher in Spain for a few years in the classroom, and then I transitioned to be an online teacher for many different companies, especially Chinese companies, right? And then I was working on a Taiwanese platform when I read James's ebook, which was about a year ago now. And I had been on his email list probably since like spring 2019, but I have to admit, like, I wouldn't read all his emails. I was just kind of one of those people. And then I had been wanting to start my own online teaching business for a couple of years because I knew there was a better way to do this than with the platforms, them being at their mercy, and they kept changing everything and like taking a bigger cut from our salary. So I took a few courses that were, the purpose was to teach you how to start your own online ESL teaching business, right? But I just kind of found them very all over the place, and for me, they weren't really structured and they were hard to implement. So then I read James's ebook. Everything clicked with me perfectly. It made a lot of sense. And then I saw his email for his challenge, and I joined his challenge in March 2020 last year. And it was pretty much the best thing I ever did for myself. I worked really hard at it. And now, I'm helping legal professionals with their communication skills. I'm really enjoying it.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Tara. It's good. It's good. So next one we have Cindy. You can basically say anything. You just tell us your story, your concerns, even your worries, and then you're gonna find out that you're not alone. Okay, that's why we want to build this community so we can support each other. Next one, Cindy. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
My name is Cindy. I am from the Chicago area in the United States, and I'm new to this group. I have my own sort of teaching company. It's not really a company, it's just me, that's been in operation since 2019. I teach business English, accent reduction. That's kind of like the main focus. And then I have a little follow-up program that I do with my accent students that's more of a conversation and grammar class. Right now I'm doing okay. Like I've got about 15 and a half teaching hours per week, but at some point I'm looking ahead to the point where I'd like to scale up. I don't think right now I'm still getting customers from the efforts that I've been putting in. They're mostly local to me. I have a lot of contacts with the Asian business community in Chicago because I worked in international business for like 7 years. I've also taught on the JET program in Japan. I have a master's in speech pathology. I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
But right, yeah, at some point, I think I will need to scale up from what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of all ears to see what other people are doing.
Yeah. I think the biggest challenge for teachers like you, if you agree with me on my approach, the biggest challenge for teachers like you who have been all over the place, have been doing so many different things, is to define a niche, because it's just hard for you to narrow down. You feel like I can do everything. So you have done a lot of things, And I think I answered this question last time when we had the Q&A. A very easy or good practice for you guys is to just kind of have a spreadsheet and then just list all these people you have talked before and to categorize them based on the problems you try to solve, and then to decide which one you want to be more focused with for your business. And when it comes to scaling, there are two different models. One is to scale horizontally. Now you basically expand horizontally. You hire teachers to work for you. You're gonna expand your business operation. Instead of you doing the job, you're gonna get more teachers to help you with your business. That's a horizontal model. Or you scale vertically. You're still gonna be the teacher, but you're gonna have a niche. Then you grow from one-on-one to group session to online course. That's a vertical model. So to me personally, a vertical model is better because you can really get to six-figure, even like high six-figure with a very small operation, unless you want to have a big business operation. All teachers I've talked to, they hire teachers. They have a big business operation, but then their margin is really low. They have to pay the teachers. They have to worry about filling up these teachers' schedules. Unless you like that, I think most people don't like that, right? That's why I think vertical model is a much leaner model to follow, to grow, to scale. If that is what you considering. Okay, thank you for sharing that. So we have next one, Gia.
Yeah, hi.
Hey.
Hi. Thank you. Thanks for running this. It's really helpful. I've never taught before. I passed my TEFL about 6 months ago. My background is actually in visual effects for Hollywood films, and
Wow.
yeah, so I had a 20-year career in that, and I have wanted to change career for a long time. And I've been out of the industry for about 6 years, and I've tried many different things. And I kind of eventually, one thing led to another, and I fell on this. The reason I did the TEFL course was because I was introduced to people who said that there was a demand for technical English for software engineers online. And the reason I haven't joined James's challenge yet is because I know exactly what it's like to be a technical person and have communication problems. They're really good at their jobs, but there are often there's often a lot of problems because they think very differently to most normal people.
Yeah.
I, for example, I'm online to get tested for autism, and it's I'm looking that's probably the case. So even when I'm designing my lesson plans, I'm still thinking very differently to most people. And so I've been working on this for about 6 months to test with people I know, and it's only now that I'm just beginning to feel like yeah, it might work, but I know that my lesson plans are going to be a bit weird. But they're beginning to just about work, and so I can't begin to tell you the fear that I have in wanting to join, because marketing and all of that is it's really scary, but I'm only beginning to feel like it might be possible.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to be helpful, but also help as much as possible.
It's good.
Once I just have a little nailed. I was told to join as soon as possible, but I knew that was the wrong thing for me when I spoke to my family about what the issues were. But it's doable. I'm just beginning to feel that now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. A lot of teachers I work with, or if there are teachers who work with me, they know I think the most frequent comment I have when I work with teachers is be okay with okay, then move on. And teachers, some teachers who are here right now participate in the challenge. So in the challenge, one of the things I ask people to do, they feel like very uncomfortable doing, is to sell their program even before they have the program. All right. So they sell the program, they talk to people who are interested in their service. They don't have a program yet. All right. So, and that's the only way to make it work. Just think about it. For all of you guys, think about it. If I give you 6 months to prepare a program, then you are ready to sell it. Most people are gonna quit after 3-4 months. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And even if for the ones who made it, a lot of people made it, right? They launch a course, they do something on Udemy, right? They launch a course. And I think that program, maybe you feel like that's a perfect program, but you never know because you didn't even test it. You don't even know if it's gonna work. I think the best part of selling it, then finalizing is you get the first-hand feedback from your potential customer, your niche, so you can improve, finalize while you're working with them.
Oh, I've been testing with a lot of contacts that I have so far. So yeah, but I mean, I know that it can't be perfect before I join.
Yeah.
It's just it's a very different thinking method, which I myself am trying to get used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And perfectionist demons, that's what we call it. Just be okay with okay, do it, build a momentum, and then you will be fine. Thanks for sharing that, Gia. The next one we have Lydia.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Lydia. I'm all the way from South Africa. Lovely to meet everybody. So I got in contact via social media. So by profession, I'm an accountant, but I have a passion in teaching. So I'm a neuro-language coach. I coach isiZulu, which is one of the 11 official languages in South Africa. So it's one of the languages of the native Africans. And I'm sort of like looking at creating a course curriculum for this specific language in order to preserve the language and also to encourage all the native Africans to not lose their roots and the language. So that's what I'm busy with at the moment. And I have an online classes. So I'm just getting used to it. So that's why I'm on board, just to learn more about the online classes and also create a curriculum. But then my one concern is, how do we preserve our intellectual property as teachers? Because especially with the online services of where we share recordings and things like that, how do we preserve our intellectual properties?
Yeah, so as I said, I don't plan to answer question, but for this question very quickly, it's hard. It's hard to protect your IP when you do online coaching. But I think the best part, the part I think why you shouldn't worry that much is because people learn from you. Is not because the material you shared. Okay, it's not the material or the teaching you have. People learn from you. It's because you, right? Because you, for example, I give so much out for free in my ebook. Do I worry about this? I don't worry about this because somebody can just steal my ebook and have their own ebook, but they're not James. And I'm building my brand. I just focus on myself, focus on the work I'm delivering. Just focus on myself, my business, the work I'm delivering, so that I can build a strong brand. People come to you because you are James. They want to work with you. And also on top of that, I'm building my community. All right. So if you think about this, people can just steal my ebook, steal my challenge. They can record all my videos I released in the challenge. So be it. Go for it. And they wouldn't be able to join my community, work with me potentially, even if they do that, right? So that's how I see it. Yes, you're gonna hire lawyers to protect you, and you're gonna spend more money than you can make. If you do that, just do everything you can, but there's gonna be a risk that's still gonna be there, and we just need to focus on ourselves, do the best work we can to build your brand, to build a community. That is the core of your business. The core of your business, nobody can steal from you. That's how I see it. All right, thanks for sharing that. A good question. Focus on yourself. Do the best job you can, and people are gonna follow you. All right. Thanks for sharing that. We have next one. I think it's Carla. Hello. Try to unmute yourself. I'm not hearing you yet, dear. Hello. Are you still there? Okay, so then we move on to the next one. Let me know if you're back. No. The next one is, oh, that might not be the name. It's that Golingua. It's is that Hannah?
Oh, I'm okay now. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
all right, yes, please go ahead, please.
All right. Okay. I'm Carla. I'm in the UK. I'm originally from Italy. I've been teaching for a Chinese school for the last 3 years. I've been teaching children, adults, and I'm a CELTA teacher. Yeah, I mean, I had few private students in the last 3 years, and I need to define really my niche. I know that I enjoy more teaching adults, like business English. Yeah, I'm confused at the moment what really is going to be my niche and where these business people that wants to learn English are. But yeah, I just want to be an independent teacher to make more money, because where I am now, I don't get the money that I'm worthy, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I think that's the same reason for many teachers here. I feel very depressed when I first started with working with the teacher from my niche, right? People feel undervalued, underpaid. No, it's a common thing, and they're very depressed. I see one post from our group yesterday, or I think maybe during the weekend, one of the teachers saying, just feel like very positive when she's in our group, seeing all of teachers having success, right? And very depressed when she's in other ESL teachers group, especially the groups that with teachers who work with the companies, mostly all these ESL companies, how companies are treating them, cutting down the hours, the price. Yeah, I mean, that's really how this industry is gonna be in the future. And sometimes I joke with teachers, people always complain these Uber drivers. I don't think ESL teachers are even as treated as good as Uber drivers by these ESL teaching companies, right? So that's what happens when you don't have a control over your business, your students, and that's why you need to be more independent and learn how to do marketing, do sales, do teaching. It's not that hard, guys. You don't have to be the best in marketing, best in sales. You just need to know how to get started, and eventually in the future you're gonna hire somebody to help you with that, but you need to know the basics. You need to get started. Okay, thanks for sharing that. For those of you who just joined, I made a mistake actually. The link I posted in the group was invalid. I just changed it. So for those of you who just joined, if you want to participate, talk to us, introduce yourself, share your stories with us, tap number one. Tap number one in the chat. You can find the chat icon on the bottom of the window. Click on it, tap number one. If you have to jump the queue, you have to leave soon, but you want to speak, tap number two. All right, please do that if you want to participate. And if you don't feel comfortable showing your video, you don't have to. You can even just speak with your camera off. It's totally fine. All right. So we have the next one, Golingua. I think it's Hannah.
It is Hannah. Yes.
Hey, yeah. Nice to
Hi, James. How are you?
Doing good.
Yes, well, James and I have been working for a while. I did start working with James on a one-to-one basis, and then I moved on to the 21 days challenge, which I did complete. Well, with the last year and everything was going on, I didn't do much with it. I kind of pursued till probably June, and then I gave up because just kids were at home, so it was just too much. So, as James knows, I have decided to come back into the field and combine my coaching and EFL experience into one, and help teachers like yourselves to identify their niches. That's what I want to focus on now, because I feel there is a lot of the teachers have got lots of experience and knowledge, etc., but they're not quite sure how to put it all together. And I believe that once you have got your niche identified and you join James's challenge, you will just accelerate, and it just the business will be just there like this. Because a lot of the time you will spend on identifying your niche and doing your market research, etc. And then once you've got that ready in place and joining the challenge, it just goes so much quicker because you know what you're doing. So that's what I want to do. And I also work on my own programs, because I GoLingua is the name of my school that I have, and I do a lot of work that is related to examining bodies. So I've got another niche where I prepare program that is focusing students on specifically learning for the exam. So they will be tackling the areas of the exam that they need to know for the specific entry 2, entry 3 exam to pass the qualification. So that's what I'm also busy with working on. So yeah, that's me. I'm based in the UK. I lived in Bahrain for a number of years, and I did my own provision over there, and it kind of gave me an idea of what I wanted to do in terms of being my own boss, because coming back to the UK was pretty hard finding a job. So like many of you, I worked online for the Chinese companies, and then I thought, right, I think I can do it myself as well. So this is where I started to explore the possibilities, and it's time to make a move. So
Yeah,
it's me. Thanks, James, for giving me the time. And
no, it's good. It's good. It's good to hear that. And I think one of the good point made is a lot of teachers, they might have a full-time job already, or there are teachers who have 5 children, 6 children that I work with, and you are tight on time, and then it make it more critical to focus. Okay, and one thing at a time. Otherwise, you're gonna be overwhelmed, and you're gonna slow down the progress. Just get focused and get it done. So that's super important for teachers, because you can't, let's say, oh, you want to start your business, then you're gonna give up on everything else. No, you can't do that. You have to slowly transition from what you are doing right now to be more focused on your business. It takes time. So then on the business side, you just need to be more focused on what you do every day, right? I know a lot of teachers I worked with, they have full-time job. They can't do anything until like after 8, 9 p.m. after they actually their children are asleep, they went to sleep, right? So that's really the situation. Then they have to push themselves a little bit more, just get it done. And eventually, I think it's worth the time and money you put in for your own business. Okay, thanks for sharing that. Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have next one, Antonio.
Yep, here. Hi. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Antonio. I'm coming to you via Houston, Texas. I joined the September Challenge. Right now, I'm also in the same boat as the others. I seem to have lost my focus. Okay. Let me start. I'm teaching ESL to adults via EF, Education First. I'm also a substitute teacher in the community here. So that has lessened my choices because of COVID. I'm vulnerable. I'm 57, so that has lessened. So then I had some health concerns, so I stopped checking LinkedIn, which is my main source of sales leads. So far, I only had one strategy session, but the guy was relatively high level. I think he just wanted to find out, so he's showing off his slang, although he's from Brazil. And I like to thank James because one of the first things I had difficulty with was when you get some leads in LinkedIn, and I was writing them down and then make sure that, you send messages, send us follow-up message, but I didn't do a spreadsheet that makes it much easier to monitor. So thank you for that. Okay. So made a Facebook page, as he said. I made a Facebook group, but nobody yet joined in except my friends. You know how you tell them to like your page and everything. So again, I've seemed to have lost focus. I'm not, I don't know what to do. Of course, the sales navigator in LinkedIn is costing me a lot. So I had downgraded it to a certain extent. So, you know, I don't know where to go. My niche is for everybody's is salespeople. You know, I have some material ready to go.
Yeah.
And the challenge has been very helpful. It's still there, you know, which lesson, the 10 lesson thing.
Yeah.
I just can't move forward.
Yeah.
Do I still continue, or
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
motivation in a way?
Yeah.
So,
Antonio, it's good. Thanks for sharing that. You're not the only one that have that problems. It's about the momentum, the focus. Sometimes I've seen teachers just, you know, after challenge, they took a break. They come back after a few months to totally fine, depending on the current situation. I think one thing that can help you is, so now you want to get the momentum back, get back to this work. Don't think too much, because you've done the challenge, you know the whole thing, but just to tell yourself one thing, okay, one thing I want to get back to, one thing, that is, you know, sending invites on LinkedIn. That's the one thing. Just say, hey, don't forget, don't even think about the strategy sessions, conversion, or posting. I don't want to even think about this. I just want to get back to my routine. I'm gonna send, you know, 20, 30 strategy session invites every day. Then you start building the momentum by slowly, you know, getting back on track, and then people are gonna get in touch with you. You start feeling like you're doing again. Then add a little bit more every day. Then you will be fine. All right, you'll be fine. And one thing, like I know you are in the September challenge. So one thing, just in case you missed it, so I sent you a email. I think in early this month, I updated day 9, like in terms of how you find your niche on LinkedIn. There are a couple videos that we updated. It's going to be very helpful. I wasn't able to give you guys all that details in September. Now it's updated. If you missed that email, just respond to any of my emails. Okay, I'll share that with you. Good. No, you'll be fine. You're not. No, no. Think about this. Okay. So what I've observed is, after challenge, a lot of people are very excited. Just keep going, and some people drop out. Just, I mean, it's normal. Some people drop out because there are other commitments in their life, and I really hope by having these network events, why you're joining these network events, right? And also the post-challenge training, I hope I can get you guys back to this. It's hard to start business. Otherwise, you're gonna see successful entrepreneurs everywhere, right? But you don't see that. You see all these teachers crying, oh, I can't do it. That's the situation. And then we have this community that help you, support you. So you know you're not alone, and you can always come back to this business. I hope that helpful, Antonio. You'll be fine. Okay, you'll be fine. Good. So let me take a look at our list. We have next one. Just if you just joined, a couple of teachers just joined. If you joined just now, and you wanted to participate, talk to us about your stories, your background, tap number 1. If you want to jump the queue because you have to leave soon, tap number 2. We have a couple of teachers, tap number 2. Let's bring them to the list first. So Shista, is that right? SHAISTA. Please go ahead. Can you hear me?
Hi, yeah, it's Shasta.
Shista, hello.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm in the UK, and I've been working within the education field for about 15 to 18 years. I started off working with children. My children were much younger then. But while I was working with the children, because I speak another language, I found I was called out of class to, help parents who didn't speak English. That's why I got into ESL. And then, I've done my PhD dip and what have you, gone on to teaching adults then. And then for the past few years, I've been, teaching ESL. I have been to the Middle East and, taught in the universities and colleges, but I can't remember who it was. someone did say that, you know, they do, you know, you find that your salary is constantly cut, and there's no proper explanation, and you're like, you know, did I go to university to have, you know, a salary that just is not even worth, you know, that my time? So that's when I saw this, I thought, you know what, I have to do this now. I have to do something. I had, while I was in the Middle East, I also started to teach private students, which were medical professionals and students, but very wealthy students who whose parents were like, you know, the owners of the hospitals and things like that. So they wanted to become doctors or, you know, whatever. And from that, I thought, actually, there's such a demand, because wherever I went, I found people were, you know, they would ask me that, oh, do you teach privately? You know, can you teach my daughter? Can you teach my son? You know, so I know there is a big demand, but it's just finding it. It's like, where are you all now? So, yeah.
Good. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yes. A lot of teachers worry about the market. Is it big enough? I think so. First of all, niche teaching is really new. And we're graduating over 100 in the challenge every month. I think it's still far from being saturated. Okay, it's very new niche teaching, and the niche is very dynamic. You know, think about this. Probably 10 years ago, business English is a niche. Right? Business English is a niche, but now business English is not a niche anymore because too many people are doing it. It dilutes the message, it dilutes the specialty. When you see you're a business English teacher, back to like 10 years ago, probably you have a niche, but right now you need to be more specific. So this is a dynamic thing. So you just have to work on it. And if you do it now, let's say if you have a niche business early on right now, and when more people join this market, you're more established. You're more established, you're ahead of them. So that's the advantage. And to you, Shista, you sense the demand, you sense the market, and it's more about just implement and get some feedback, test and see to validate this business idea. And then I think you're better positioned than many teachers who have got nothing like from our market. You already know there's a demand. That's good. That's a very good start. Thanks for sharing that. So we have next one, Molly. I think Molly tapped number 2. Molly, hello.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to meet everyone. James, thank you so much for telling me about this event. I'm very excited to be here. I'm lesson planning as we speak a little bit too, multitasking. I live in Reno, Nevada. I actually just recently transitioned into teaching and I love it, specifically ESL, ELA. I was a journalist for about 8 years in the state of Nevada. I had a good run. I got to travel a bit. I hold 6 awards from the Press Association here in the state. You know, it was a good run, but it was time for a change for me because I wanted to do more. I'm so used to serving the community with my storytelling and providing the truth and telling the truth and just getting information out there for everybody. And, you know, to me, that's kind of like a part of education. And I recently discovered a newfound love for just educating people in general. I just love it. And so I decided to transition into teaching. I wanted to obtain more of a leadership role. So I started out teaching online with, you know, the basic overseas programs like Palfish, Magic Ears, iTutor Group, Bling ABC. I'm still doing about 1 or 2 of them just for that extra income. But it led me to a wonderful position at the Northern Nevada Literacy Council as lead instructor. So basically my duties there, I have to promote the curriculum that we have for our language learning students. Our population is mostly adults. They're mostly adults, Hispanic. We have some Vietnamese, as well as people who speak Urdu, Hindi. So we have a variety. It's a little tough right now because our COVID cases here are pretty high, especially in our town. So we're going virtual, and it's really hard with our students going virtual with some of them, especially since they have lives on the side as adults. So right now our biggest struggle is measurable skill gains. And what makes it even better is that our state just proposed 130 million in education cuts. So that's what our governor proposed. Not like we were really best in education anyway for the state, but it's frustrating right now. So I'm trying to think of a plan to kind of branch out a bit. I'm trying to go into a program called OutSchool. I have heard nothing but good things about it. They pay well. Basically, you build your own curriculum, and you teach everybody, anyone online, even in America, that want to take your classes. And it can be anything, how to play the drums or how to write this paper or anything. So I'm working on that. But I think my dream, though, I'm also a career coach at the school. And I've helped a lot of our students get jobs by redoing their resumes, revamping them, and interview preparations. And I think that's what I kind of want to go for, is career prep and workforce preparation, workforce resources, digital literacy with language learners. So I'm looking to start, hopefully, that kind of little business here soon. I think my confidence, as Antonio's mentioned, motivation, is a bit in question, and as well as finances. But it's something that I very much want to do. So that is my story. Thank you for letting me share.
That's great. A great story, Molly. I just want to comment on one thing. How COVID has affected or impacted this industry. A lot of you guys had that push. We've been waiting for so many years, moving from offline to online. I think that's one direct impact. More and more teachers are looking at online teaching. To be honest, they should have looked at it many, many years ago, because this is the trend. I'm not saying offline teaching gonna disappear, and it's never gonna disappear, but the pie gonna be redistributed, right? The percentage of online teaching and offline teaching gonna be redesigned or redistributed. So a lot of people stop here, when they look at these impacts, but it's more than that, okay? And also about the infrastructure. You look at teacher side, and more teachers are doing online now. But you need to still look at the demand side, the market side. Actually, the good news is more and more people have the system, the instrument, the devices to learn online because of COVID, because they have to think about these parents. All these students have to go back home and take the classes online, you see? So the infrastructure is getting better for online teaching, and also people's mindset. And I don't know if you guys, but sometimes you teach students, they were like, oh, I prefer offline. I want to meet you in person. But then after they work with you online, they were like, oh, I like it actually, because I can wear my pajama when I meet you, right? Things like that. So infrastructure is getting better on the demand side, and also their mindset. How people see learning online is changing too. So COVID just accelerated the whole process. This is going to happen anyways. Just accelerated this progress, and I think it's good because more teachers now, more students now, and this whole industries, this whole online coaching, online teaching business is the market is growing so much in just 2020. You guys should feel lucky that you are on top of right now. You're thinking about it, right? That's great. So that's just one comment on what Molly has shared with us. It's great. So next one, let me take a look at my notes. Ellie, hello.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. My name is Elle. I'm from Canada. I'm a native English speaker, and I think that's something that's sought after among people who want to learn. I have a bachelor's degree in communications, and I'm just starting to teach ESL online with the schools, the ones that James talks about that don't pay very well and continue to change their policies the longer they're around to make things more difficult and less lucrative. But I thought it would be at least a way to get my foot in the door and start getting some contacts and hopefully people who can be not just referrals, but provide references for me. Because I like this idea of going out on my own. I've also traveled and learned a second language myself, and I understand how frustrating it can be because I like to use the free services. I've used Duolingo for years. I've gone to the library and found free resources. I've made friends with people in other countries that I can practice conversing with. But I would pay money for someone who would specifically work with me to talk about the things that I want to focus learning on in that language. So I see that there's value in providing individualized services as an English teacher, but I haven't really committed to doing this as a business. And I'm very, very hesitant to take my LinkedIn page, which has my other work experience, my full-time day job work experience, and kind of give up on that, or like really announce publicly on my LinkedIn page that this is what I'm doing when I'm not sure this is what I'm doing. I'm not 100% confident that this is going to be what I can make my living on. So I'm scared to do that. I don't feel like professional enough yet, and I don't know when I will. It's probably something I'll just have to decide and give it a try. But I understand that if I'm going to target people living in China, oh, and I live in a part of the world where lots and lots of tourists come to. I live in the Rocky Mountains in Alberta. So I see tourists from Japan, from China all the time. And I'm sure that that would be a good niche, right? If I said, you want to come to my part of the world and visit me? Well, I'm a native speaker here. Plus I have experience teaching ESL. Plus I have a bachelor's degree in communications. So that would probably be a good niche. And I've even thought about focusing on people who might want to come buy real estate here. Because if you want to engage in a business transaction, you're probably even more motivated to perfect your English and come across as confident and knowledgeable and professional, right? So I've thought about my niche. I'm getting ready to jump away from the schools and into independent teaching, but I'm not quite ready to do that publicly yet. And I'm lingering in the meantime before I actually commit to signing up for the challenge or converting my LinkedIn page. That's me.
Yeah, I think this resonates with many teachers here. One thing is, I don't think teaching English or teaching ESL online is a business for everyone. A lot of teachers who just want to have it as a side gig, they like it, but they don't see themselves having a business with it. So totally fine. I don't think this is for everyone. So that's the first thing. Second, the fear of making an announcement, making a full transition, that applies to a lot of people. I had a fear too. When I tried to leave my job, right, a very comfortable job, and start a business, that there were a lot of fears, and I think my wife had more fears than I did, and I spent 2 weeks convincing her this is worth a go, and we made an agreement. Eventually, she told me, "Okay, you have to make the same salary in 3 months with this business. Otherwise, you're gonna quit and start a business. Look for a new job." Okay, so that was the agreement, a condition for me to start a business. You can see how many fears like she had. So we just started a family, and I'm just seeing my career going up, and now I just I'm telling her that I'm gonna quit a job and start a business that she doesn't even know right now. She doesn't know what I'm doing. Okay, she has zero interest in my business. So you think that's the fear, right? So I have to convince her. I have to do it because I believe in it. I know I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to have my own business. So I did it, right? Although I didn't make the same salary in 3 months, but my wife seen some promises from this business, and she made some compromise with me, just to let me continue. That's a very common, the fears. And back to the point you made, you are not ready to make it public on LinkedIn, all that. this happens to many teachers in the challenge. So when we ask them to update their LinkedIn to reflect their niche, their business, a lot of teachers are not ready. They're not ready to do it because they are either with a company, they're not allowed to, or they're not comfortable with a compromising way to do it. It just you just add an experience to your LinkedIn, just highlight that's what you're doing, then you just keep the rest the same. I don't think it's a big deal. You have to update your LinkedIn for this business. A lot of teachers are making transition. As I said, I don't think a lot of people are going to quit their job today because they want to start business. You're going to do both in the same time, at the same time, so you can feel more comfortable with your business. And I think the best post that people like, just seeing people saying, "Oh, I just quit my job today." No, we see this all the time in our group. I just quit my job today. I decided to do it. And before they made that post, probably they've been doing their business for a couple months, if not a year. It takes time to make that transition. Just be comfortable with what you do and to figure out if this is for you, right? I'm not saying this business thing is for everyone. I don't think so, right? Just make a decision based on that. I hope this helpful, El. Right, it's good. Thank you for sharing that. All right, so who's next? Denisa, hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good. Hi, everyone. I am from Ukraine. I'm currently now in the challenge. And last week I had to change my niche because I decided for some IELTS and it was not a very good idea. But now I chose the HR managers. I had a conversation with my husband when he was telling me about one of the HR managers in the company he worked before who had a problem with communication in English. And that gave me the idea. And I wasn't sure, but I thought if there is one, there must be more. So I decided I'll take it. And now I got today my first strategy session with one. And that's really inspiring. I'm very scared, to be honest. But a little bit about why I decided to take the challenge is here where I live in a small village, and there's a lot of people who want to learn English, but they want to learn it offline, and they're not willing to pay a high price because it's a poorer area. So I saw James' challenge since the summer, and I really wanted to take it. Now when I finally got the opportunity, I was glad. I had two options to take. I found on Instagram also one teacher. She was advertising also like a course, a challenge for those. And the challenge name was from teacher to businesswoman. And she was kind of showing how successful she was in becoming a businesswoman from a teacher. When James was telling me all my problems and what he can help me with, and it was exactly like it just was exactly what I needed. And when I saw the challenge or the other course, it was like, oh yeah, she succeeded, but maybe she just lives in a better area, or maybe she's smarter, or maybe she has something better than I do. But here it was like, no matter what, if you don't have any experience, if you've never taught, you still can do it. And it really helped. So if you allow me to compliment you, James, I really love the challenge. And so far it's been like so good. I'm just so excited to continue more and more to finish it. And yeah, to get students.
Thanks for sharing that, Denisa. Appreciate all the comments on the challenge. So I think one thing about having this business, just kind of expand from the point I made before. This analogy I use. So when you start a business, it's a marathon. It's a marathon. Okay, it's a marathon. It takes time, effort to keep going. It's not a sprint. If you want to have it happen overnight, I mean, it's not going to be possible. For example, Tara started challenge in March. It's been almost a year, and she's still learning, progressing. But I mean, yes, it's gonna be great to reach the finish line. If you define the finish line as a 6-figure business, it's gonna be great to reach it. But also saying that you're making progress every day, every month, every week, every month, it's very rewarding. For example, Denise just started the challenge. In the process, is still very happy because she can see it's happening. It's happening, growing. This is what you need. You need to grow. You need to see yourself improving, doing better, shifting your mindset, developing skills. And I can tell you how happy people are when they finally did a sales session. This sales is not a thing for teachers. So they have so many resistance. I can't do sales. But when you get to the point where you actually like sales, when you get to the point where you actually like doing strategy sessions, talking to your potential students and sell your service, and you did it for no reason, you just did it, right? That's the feeling, that's the growth. You're going to be happy. You're going to feel like it worth everything that you put in. Thanks for sharing that, Denise. So we're going to quickly move on to the next one. Sylvia, hello.
That's it, should be there. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the toolbar wouldn't come up. Yeah, so I'm Sylvia. I'm in the UK. I've taught in England for 20 plus years. I've not taught online, although to the schools, although I did have an interview for one a few weeks ago and I decided not to do it. I've been made basically jobless because of COVID. I'm a supply teacher, but also I'm a very vulnerable person if I catch COVID. So I've took the challenge in October. I really, really loved the challenge. I love the way it was put together with the short bits each day and building on and building on and building on. I've been a bit lax at times about continuing with this. I really, really want to make this work and I'm pushing myself at the moment. But what I found is early on, I got quite a few strategy sessions with people that really weren't interested. They just wanted to know what I was doing. I've only got one client out of it so far, and she's due to finish in a week or so. And I've absolutely loved working with her. I've had another person who did general English with me through this for a couple of weeks because she was waiting for a place in a Cambridge school to do her C2. And I had a lady who wanted me to go through her webinars with her. And I ditched her because she didn't listen to anything I said. So she hesitated over numbers. And when I asked her why, she said, well, I always go to Catalan first. And I said, well, why don't you write them in English on your screen so that you don't see a number in digit? And she said, I don't want to do that. I want the digits there. And I thought, well, what's the point of this? She frustrated me greatly. So I told her that she might be better off with somebody else. So at the moment, it just seems to be very stuck and I'm becoming quite despondent about the whole business and would really like it to take off a bit more. So I have got some time that I can have with you, James, and I think I might need to book it and see what we can do.
Good. Yeah, take your time. As I think back to that point, right? It's a marathon. It just takes time, but as long as you know what your next step is, just follow that, build up slowly. A lot of people can make it happen very fast. I think I did a good job to grow my business, but I can't tell you how much time I spent on my business. So when I first started, I was like working on my business probably 15 hours a day. And it was really hard.
James, my niche is not such a nationwide one. I think that's where the problem might be. You know, I get some lovely responses when I send out my messages, but they're usually, as I do, most of my clients are Italian and I'm in Italy. I don't need to improve my English. So I don't know whether I need to look at a different niche, something that's a bit more worldwide.
We can talk about that. Just book the meeting with me. Okay.
I will do.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. It's good. So let me check my list. We have next one, Kila. Hello, Kila. Are you there, Kila? unmute yourself. Yeah, I can see you. Yep.
Okay,
Hey,
sorry.
yeah, I can hear you now.
Sorry, I thought you guys had us muted. Okay, so yes, I am Kayla. I joined a little late, so I'm sorry I'm a little bit behind. I was having a meeting with my son's teacher. So, as a mom, kind of handling all of this has been a little bit of a challenge. I am a little bit behind, as I also am working and doing some other things, but I'm trying to catch up. And today is like a super focus for me to catch up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have been teaching for, actually, I guess started when I was in high school, being a teaching assistant. I continued like tutoring after that. So I've been doing this for like 15 years. About 10 years I've been teaching online. I started online, like kind of transitioning uh, through telephone calls with students. So it's been a long time. That was, it was kind of a lot more difficult, and I'm very thankful for video. So I guess fast forward to now, I've taken on other jobs and I've done other things like marketing, graphic design, done a little bit of everything because I majored in psychology and media studies, like advertising and things like that. So I've been able to do a variety of things, which I'm thankful for also. But I'm at this point in my life where I continue to come back to teaching, and I know that it is a passion of mine. It's something that I do enjoy doing, and I really like to help people. And so I feel like that's where I should be, but I continue to hit that roadblock of I'm only making this much, even though I've been doing this for ever. I've been teaching for an incredibly long time, and I'm still just making the bare minimum, I feel like. And
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
advancement with where I am.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, yes, I can totally understand. So one of my first few clients I worked with, she told me her story. At one point, she just told herself she's gonna do this for free because she wasn't even making more than cashiers.
yeah,
She was like, I would rather just do it for free because I don't think I was paid properly.
yeah,
So just back to what I said, probably miss that part. So when you don't have control over your business, and one of the analogies I used before is, so right now there's a mountain between you and your students. You can teach, but you don't have the reach. You can't reach them. You can reach to
right.
your students, and then these companies build the tunnels, right, to connect you and your students, and then they charge you,
Yep.
right? They control this market, they control this business, and then they charge you more than they should, to be honest. But I understand these companies, they running on a very high costs doing all this marketing, especially when it's very competitive, and some of you working with some of the companies, VIP Kids, data, you feel like they charge their students a lot more than you, but the operation fee is really high. Otherwise, they wouldn't just cut down the hours or reduce the rates constantly, because they are facing a smaller and smaller margin, and the
Yeah.
investors are not happy. So it's not, I wouldn't blame these companies. I wouldn't blame anyone. I think that's just how this industry gonna be.
Right.
And then niche teaching is a different thing. When you have a niche, you're gonna, that's another analogy I use. So when you work with company fishing in an ocean, like they build a shape, they fish in the ocean, right? So then they have to spend all the money to build a shape and fishing in the ocean. But what you need to do, you don't compete with them in the ocean. You just find your own lake pot, right? You fish. That's your niche. You just fish. No big ships, no companies. That's your own pot, and then you just go and fish. And then you're gonna get. You don't need a lot of fish, right? You just need the fish that enough for you, and that's your niche. Niche teaching is better because you are specialized, and company wouldn't compete with you because they don't have the scale. They can't specialize that way. Avoid the competition, and you will be able to increase your rates significantly by doing that. All right, so that's really how I see it, and I think it's right because a lot of teachers having successes, successful businesses by doing this, avoiding the competition, they'll get a better business going. Yeah, I hope this is helpful. Thanks for sharing that, Kila.
Absolutely.
So let me see. I think we have one more. Okay, Oleg. Hello, is that you? Yes.
Hello. Do you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I'll try to make my story short, but usually it's not possible. Yeah. So I'm from Russia, originally from Siberia, very cold part of Russia, but the last 20 years I've been in Moscow. Actually, I was in banking for 25 years, probably lots of banks, commercial banks, mostly Central Bank of Russia. But 5 years ago, I decided to, and it was about international finance. So I used language to some extent, but 5 years ago, I decided to switch to teaching English because English is my passion. Well, still, I was outside of Russia for 10 years, and so I got my CELTA certificate 3 years ago and started from scratch. I used to give like free of charge lessons and tried to find my niche or something. But then I decided that I would love to teach adults and give them no more than 10 sessions. But still, that was a session-based approach because I used to charge, ask for money after each lesson. Now what I learned from James is we should sell the program, the whole program. I did have a program, but I sold it like one lesson at a time. And then in last year, two best things happened to me in my life. The first one was the August challenge, and the second was the inner circle, joining the inner circle. Because right after the challenge, I got sick, and then it was COVID and lots of things, and then I would lose everything if I wouldn't have joined the inner circle. And then I tried to do it. Actually, sent like 5,000 messages, invites on LinkedIn using Sales Navigator, and then the conversion rate is extremely low. It's about 10% because in Russia, LinkedIn is blocked, and so people don't go there that often. Maybe that was my mistake. I cannot find my niche, but this morning I decided to focus on vice presidents. And I sent like 200 invites, and I got like 15 connections all at once. So they have time, they're connected. And I would like to say thank you. Thank you message consisting of two parts. The first one, due to this challenge to the inner circle, I learned so much, and I'm so sure in what I'm doing that I know James doesn't like it. He tells me to count in hours, but I give lessons because when you give a 10 lesson program, then my lessons are like 75 minutes or 90 minutes usually, because I cannot squeeze it into 60 minutes. So I charge like thank you messages. I'm so sure now that I don't give lessons cheaper than $70 now. I mean, I'm selling, but I didn't get any sale of this program to my niche, but I'm still selling by the word of mouth or stuff like that. So, and another nice thing happened last week when I met with my colleagues, teachers of English, of Spanish, of French here in Moscow. And I'm supposed to be the most successful among them, among us. And they asked me how I teach, how I find students. And then after the meeting, there was one guy who was not a teacher, and he called me and said, well, I'm in sales and you were so convincing, so I want to learn English from you. So I said, well, $70 per lesson, no problem. He said, no, done. So that's it. And actually, if not this challenge, I wouldn't set new magnificent goals for this year. I want to build a great, big new house. I don't want my wife to work anymore, because when I was a banker, she didn't work for like 13 years. And then I asked her to help me. So that's it. Thank you very much, James. It's, no sales yet, but I'm so sure they're coming and they will be there. So
yeah, thanks. Yeah,
you'll be the first one to know that.
yeah, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Like, yes. So what I've seen is there are people who can get results right away. There are people who, takes time. You remember the interview I had with Patrick, right? To him like 3-4 months to get students. Then once you get students, you just keep getting students. You have that, right? And it just takes time. It's because the barriers or the gaps are different, for everyone. Now, some people might not have any technical problems. Some people might not have much mindset problems. Some people might have better a niche, like an easier niche. It's all different, but as long as you follow the approach, follow the steps, and you will get there for sure. So that's what I can tell you. And thanks for sharing that, Alec. So I know we are running out of the thumbnail. So I want to just confirm, is there anyone want to talk to us? Maybe we can have 1 or 2 more. If you want to talk about your story and let us know about you, tab number 1, and we can maybe have 1 or 2 more if you guys want. I just want to make sure give you all of you guys. I see somebody raise a hand. Hey, Natalie, right?
Natalie. Natalie.
Hello, hey.
Hi, good evening, afternoon. I don't know where everybody else is. Sure, well, I'm Natalie. I live in Spain. I was raised in the United States. So I've been a teacher for the past 15 years, more or less. So ever since I started teaching, I always knew I wanted to have an academy. I wanted to get big. But getting into it, you realize that it's a big process. It's not that easy, right? You need to figure yourself out. You need to figure out the language itself, like doctors of the language, I feel. And but finally, when I moved to Spain 4 years ago, as I was evaluating my teaching certificates, I was working at an academy with a great director at that, who would let you do whatever you wanted in class, as long as it was English. It was about English, right? So they did have a book that we followed, but it wasn't you didn't have to follow it to the grain. So I moved out of there a year later after working with him, and it pushed me actually to go freelance. I was very scared, but luckily I actually had my husband who supported my idea, and and so I did it. I'm in Madrid now, and within the first month I signed up on a page. I don't know if you guys know it. It's called Clases Particulares here in Spain, and just any teachers and academies go there, and you just put your profile up, and as long as you keep your profile updated, you have students that look at your profile and they ask you for teaching. And that's how I started. Now, barely this year, January, reading your book, I knew I had to bring the costs up because I was charging $15 an hour, which I thought it was a really good start since I started September last year. So I was like, no, that's really good. And this year, I talked to a lot of teachers who actually charge more than 50 euros an hour. And I make sure I talk to them, that I'm actually like, whoa, how did you do that? Like, why are you doing that? And then I'm taking a coaching course, which I'm really into. I love psychology. I haven't taken psychology, but I love psychology. I read up on it. So then I started looking for my niche, just like how you have put in your book, because I knew I had to find one, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how to get to it. And I was doing the coaching. And since I already implemented into my classes, that's how I got the confidence to start charging more, because I started seeing everybody else around me, the type of teachers there are. There's a lot of native teachers who's they pretty much just work to make money, but they really aren't teachers. You know, they just play around. Sometimes they don't even have, they're not even Spanish. So a lot of kids end up frustrated. In my opinion, obviously, this is what I'm seeing, this is my observation. So now when I get a new student, I tell them everything I do. I have a structured class. It's like, I do use text, but it's not my main program. Like the text is just like the basis of like what we're going to be learning. But I also put in emotional management, and I also give them tools for the kids to learn how to use the language, because most of them here in Spain, in particular in Europe, they know how to read, they know how to write, but they're deaf and mute.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't know how to use that. So I make them talk. And how do I make them talk? You know, I create speaking classes, interactive. I do pen pals. I have friends in Canada and in Mexico who are also teachers. And we have created this bond to where we connect our kids so they can do pen pals. They get motivated to know that everybody else around the world is talking English, and it's not just them. It's like they take away that, like, they get embarrassed, you know, to talk. So that is a process I'm going through right now. And I wasn't able to open up my academy, which was something I wanted to do last year, but with the pandemic, it totally changed the game. I love being online. I feel like it has opened me up to the world. I'm like, oh my God, I'm limitless now. I want to talk to everybody. I want to get everybody in my classes. I want to teach everybody. That is so cool. It is a process. It's not easy. Like I can say right now, I only have 15 students. I cannot do more than 15 right now because I'm also a mother. You know, I have to be home and I'm taking a course. So I'm preparing myself, but what I do is I jot down all of my ideas to make sure that once I get this course over, I already know what my next step is going to be. So I've also made a board. I've also made a dream board to where I'm putting like everything that I'm doing and that I want to do and I want to accomplish. Obviously with consciously, because we cannot do everything at one time. So
thanks for
everything is one step at a time. But eventually, once you put your mind to it and once you actually start working on it, you realize that step by step, you start seeing, and you start seeing even the flow of people, because people start actually respecting your work. And right now, I'm working with my father, because my father has more than 30 years teaching. And when I got to Spain, he was charging $12.50. And I would tell him, like, you're crazy. How are you charging that? And his students, they are the type of students that come out and they pass the Cambridge exams with A's. I mean, like, they pass it, like, well, they even called them to, like, thank him for his work. And this year, I finally was able to help him by charging more.
That's great.
So,
that's great.
I think that the financial thing is kind of like, I think it's a pattern that we all have from our childhood, no? And we need to start breaking those patterns that, oh, why I cannot charge one way. They're not going to pay me, or what if they don't have enough money? You're like, no. Whoever really wants to be with you will pay, and they will appreciate your work.
That's great. That's right. That's great. I like the part you talked about how you really shifted your mindset from, oh, that's how much I can charge, and then oh, actually there's more I can do. And by looking at, having a niche, by differentiating yourself a little bit more. So if you market your business as a general teacher on a website where you can find many, many more general teachers, right? What happens is people look at the list of teachers, then the only thing they can use to decide, to make a decision is the price. That's really odd. I mean, you guys all look the same. How can I make a decision? I'll go with the cheaper ones, right? So that's how people see it. And when you specialize, when you have a niche, you are different one, right? Just that's another analogy, right? General practitioner versus neurosurgeons, right? Why one works, they all doctors, but one gets much more because they specialized in a very specific area. And people, if you have problem with their neurosurgeon or anything, right? Which one do you want to go to? Which one you will be more comfortable working with? The same thing. When you have a niche, people see you differently. That's one thing. And second thing is, even with everyone, all of you guys, with what you are doing right now, it works more. No, you charge a higher rate not because they can afford it. It's because that's how much you're worth.
Exactly.
Right? So that's how you justify. I charge $50 is not because, oh, you can afford it. That's great, you can afford it, but that's because how much I'm worth. Right? That's going to help you with the mindset. Thank you very much for sharing that. So I know just a few teachers joined recently. We're gonna have one more. If anyone wanted to participate, we're gonna have one more before we finish the networking event. It's been a great pleasure to meet all of you guys. Anybody else wanted to be the last one? Talk about them. Share us with your story. If we don't have one, then we're gonna stop here. Hey, yeah, we have one. Jane, hello. Oh, we have two. Okay, so two more. Jane and Katie. Then we're gonna wrap up this meeting. Let Jane, you want to go first? Jane.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Jane,
hi. I just want to say how inspiring it is listening to you all. I mean, I'm new to your program and I haven't had the opportunity yet to read your book, but I've worked for over 30 years now in languages in some form or other, in secondary modern foreign languages, in EFL since I was 24, in industry and in education and in universities. But I find now I work on community projects and I work on gigs, as you said about Uber. They're not badly paid gigs actually, but doing English for academic purposes. But in between projects and gigs, there's this gap. and I'd like to fill the gap and do more one-to-one or online groups. Now that I've been teaching online for the last 6 months, but for other people as well. So I've just started doing some of my own, but it's as many of you have said, about finding your niche is the tricky thing, I think. Which part of my experience should I be focusing on online? Then which people to focus with, I'd like to continue with community work. I think it was, where's she gone? Molly. I'm not sure if it was, you were talking about people within communities, within migrant communities, bringing them into employment. I'm not sure if that's what you meant. But that's the kind of thing that I do in community. And I'm not sure, can I still do that online? Why not? But it's I've got a lot of questions, but it's been so inspiring listening to you all. And James, I agree with I think she's gone off now. Was it Teresa who said how you have a lot of empathy? It's just really nice, actually. You're connecting with us as kind of teachers who are not made for business necessarily.
Yeah. So actually, that answers your question. When you try to decide a niche, try to find a niche target, follow your passion. I think the ESL teacher or teacher niche is the best niche for me because I'm passionate about it. I have the empathy for this group, and I would love working with you guys, right? I would love, really just communicating, helping you guys with the business because I love doing it. And if I hate you guys, I don't like this group. This group is pathetic. I don't want to work with any of you guys. I probably have quit already. It doesn't matter how much money you make, you're not gonna stick to it, right? Follow your passion. Think about these people you help with. Think about the work you're gonna do with them. Think about, close your eyes, just picture having meetings with these people, 10 meetings back to back every day. Are you gonna enjoy this life, this business? If yes, go for it. Go for it. It's really that's really how I see it. You need to find a niche that you're passionate about. That's very critical. So we're gonna have a last one. Okay, last one. I think it was KJ. Hey KJ, hello. Are you still
Hello.
there? Hey.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you
Hey.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I'm KJ and I'm from the Philippines. Yeah, it's quite inspiring to listen to the stories of everyone, and that really gave me a different perspective towards going independent. So I'm not really sure why I'm in the Zoom meeting, but because I initially thought it was a meeting for those who were enrolled in the challenge already. Is that right, James? Or
No, it's so
I actually asked you privately first. Okay.
We have this meeting for everybody in the network
Okay.
group. There are teachers who join the challenge, participate, or in the process of finishing the challenge, or teachers who are not. So you don't have to join the challenge. A lot of teachers, they actually get students just by reading my free ebook. I'm really happy for them, but you don't need to join the challenge. You don't have to.
Yeah, thank you. I actually read your book, and I'm also part of your private group. And what I've signed up for is the upcoming summit. I would just like to confirm if you are the speaker, one of the speakers for the summit in the Philippines starting February 6th, I think.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I think that was yes, I was invited to it. So she was a participant in the challenge before, and she invited me to join that summit. I haven't prepared anything yet. So do you have a question about it, or?
No, I was just confirming, because I was also planning to actually join your challenge, the 21-day challenge. Yeah, so I'm a teacher as well, and I'm actually in the university for like more than 10 years, and teaching more than 10 years now. And for me, like teaching from elementary, high school, and even college students actually gave me a lot of opportunities to interact and meet different students with different background and different nationalities as well. And now with this pandemic, I'm actually thinking of going independent, but right now it's just not so possible because it's a full-time job for me. And when you're a teacher in the Philippines, you really have a lot of tasks to do. So my question is, I'm planning to expand my market in the Asian, in probably Europe or US. I'm planning to help out teachers who are not teachers, or anyone who would like to go into ESL teaching. Would there be probably a niche for me, James?
Yeah, I think. Can you repeat that? About the niche, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, will there be a niche for me? Being I'm from the Philippines, although I'm certified, I like.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So if I don't know if this is what you meant, but if you worry about being a non-native, is that the concern?
Yes.
Okay.
That's precisely what I'm asking. Thank you, James.
Okay. So yeah, the short answer is no. All right, no. No, we have a lot of successful non-native teachers, right? In our community, and the way all of you guys, the way you see yourself, how you see yourself should be different. Once you become a niche teacher, once you are focusing on helping your students from a specific niche, and you should start seeing yourself more than an English teacher. Okay, when you have a niche, the problems evolved in their lives, in their job, in their career is more than English. And it really gives you the way to solve the problems they have when it comes to English. For example, if you have a communication needs, and so what you do is to remove their barriers when it comes to communication. Is more than English. So what you're gonna see yourself doing is you are helping them develop skills, not teaching English, right? Developing skills. And no, to be honest with you, some teachers, non-native teachers told me that they're helping students who speak better English than they can, okay? So you're helping, think about this. People can speak English very well. And a lot of teachers get intimidated by people who can speak really good English in their stress session. They feel like, how can I help them? You're not helping them with the language. They can be very fluent, but they don't get implement. They have troubles in their career, in their job, in their lives that associated with English. Now, let's say if you teach communication, it's more than English, how to speak more fluently, and you're gonna be talking about how to speak more effectively, how to conduct meetings, how to give presentations, how to do small talks, how to do so many different things that English is part of these things, right? So you're gonna see yourself differently. And back to your question, people are gonna learn from you, not because you're a native speaker. No, yes, if you're a native speaker, it just makes things easier. But people learn from you, people want to work with you, is because you have the solution to their problems. All right. So so the fact is there are teachers, even right now, there are non-native teachers. They are doing fine, they're doing great. It doesn't matter where you're from. All right. Just think about me. I'm ESL students. I'm helping ESL teachers. All right. So as long as there's something you can offer, you're gonna be fine having a niche. Okay.
Thank you so much, James, for the vote of confidence. Yeah, I really look forward to being successful. With this one as well. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. We still have 20 people here, but we have to finish it now. I hope you guys like the networking event. We had one about like 2 months ago when we reached 6,000 milestone. We had one, and I really loved that one. A lot of teachers just talk about themselves, their stories can be very inspiring. People from different backgrounds, where they are here and what they want to become. So you can see that you can do it too. I think that's what matters most. You need to know you can do it. If you just get undervalued, get underpaid so much, and you lose the hope, the faith that you can actually having a business with something you like, you're passionate about. A lot of teachers mentioned that I just want to do it, but I just can't do it with $20 and even $15 an hour. I can't even survive. That's a really bad, really bad situation you're in. Now, I think the message we are having here is you can do it, and there are a way you can do it. If you haven't read my ebook, please read the ebook. It's free. 2 hours, you're gonna get so many questions answered. You're gonna know the path, right? You can just follow it. You do it yourself, or you can, if you need our help, you can join the challenge, right? You don't have to join the challenge, but it's gonna help you just get better results sooner. So I want to thank you guys again for joining us, spending 1.5 hours with us today. And I hope to see you guys more often in the group. Ask questions in the group. Let us know your concern, your questions, and we're gonna do our best to help you get started. Okay. That being said, thank you guys for joining. Okay, that's gonna be all for today. I hope to see you guys around in the group. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was amazing.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, James.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.